This is not a one and done. This is a every day, all day reassessment of where you are, what you're doing. And this obviously is a big step to start with. Glad to see it. I'm assuming there's going to be a phase 2 at some point in time. Talk about the ongoing efforts after this initial step is over.
Sure. Thank you for that question, Mr. Chairman. We will, like any large organization, we need to continue to review and evaluate how we operate and how we are effectively delivering on the President's policy priorities all over the world. This reorganization was informed by the senior leadership and the career Foreign Service and senior civil servant officials who were at the department. We asked them what works, what doesn't work, how would you like to operate, what are the pain points that you've experienced getting things done. And these are people who've served in Republican and Democrat administrations and gave us some really good feedback about where they would like to see reforms implemented at the Department of State. We told them this reorganization, we wanted to focus on our domestic footprint, make sure we were doing what we needed to reorient the department and focus it on the critical foreign policy function it's designed to deliver on. And we're going to continue to do that. It's going to be an iterative process. The entire time we're here is looking at how things work, how they don't work, and we're always going to be finding, I think, inefficiencies in how things happen. That's just natural in any large department or organization in the government or in the private sector. I've served in both, and government isn't home to inefficiency. You have plenty of that going on in the private sector as well, but it is incumbent upon leaders of any organization to look at how they're delivering and come up with opportunities to improve.
Well said. Thank you. I'm always impressed when I go out of the country, and for that matter here, about how State Department employees are probably the least partisan of any government agency that there is, and I'm always impressed with the way they conduct themselves, the way they treat us when we're out in the field, and I have to say that I'm glad to hear what you said, and that is that these people were consulted about going forward, what works and what doesn't work, because I have found them never to be bashful when you ask them what can we do better. So I'm glad to hear that. I assume you're familiar with my Secure Embassy Construction and Counterterrorism Act. Tell me, I haven't been fully satisfied with the way that it's been implemented, and the Embassy in a Box legislation, both of those. Tell me your thoughts on those, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Mr. Chairman. We just onboarded a new head of the Office of Overseas Building Operations, someone who has extensive experience in this area. And I've discussed with him this act and also just our desire to engage in what we've called expeditionary diplomacy, making sure that our ambassadors are engaging with the foreign governments that they are sent to post to engage with, engaging with the local business communities and population, and doing everything they can to advance America's national and foreign policy and security and economic interests. It's hard to do that if you are hunkered down in a bunker that is masquerading as an embassy. Certainly there are parts of the world that are very dangerous, that are high threat environments, and you need to have a really secure kind of environment. But to the extent that we can find safe ways to make sure our ambassadors and our diplomats are getting out and engaging, looking at what our friends and allies in those countries are doing and how they're going about their business, I think is a good way to inform what we're doing. And also just the cost that goes into some of these construction projects are just really too high. The requirements that we have, there's a lot of security requirements, as you know, but figuring out how to make those sort of replicatable, so we're not reinventing the wheel in every country where we go to build an embassy or a consular post, to ensure that we can have more companies bid on these. I mean, someone told me there's only 2 general contractors that are able to fulfill our needs and build embassies overseas, and that is not a recipe for competition or driving costs down when you have a duopoly. So we want to find ways to increase competition while building safe, secure embassies for our diplomats overseas.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And your point is well taken, that every single construction project is different in that the security of every country is different. There's some that, like you say, you've got to build a very secure environment, and others not so much. So we appreciate your attention to that. For that, Senator Shaheen.